I'm Fred Crick, here with two good friends, Chris Penn, Dave Fiat. We're going to have a little bit of a roundtable discussion about the IDS product and what we have seen in the last years of our training. I want to start it off just a little bit. Been with Bosch about 15 years, but we've had the IDS for about 8 years or so, but we're still seeing what I would say teaching old dog new tricks. One of the things that I have seen in my training, guys, is that the design issue of the structure versus what we're fixing to add to the structure with the IDS product in a variated compressor. And we have now teaching the guys that have been into trainings, what do we do? How do we get a load calculation on the structure? What have you guys seen?
I concur, Fred. A lot of our people are going into the wholesalers and having those heat losses, heat gains done. A lot of times, sometimes they'll just match up what equipment they take out. They don't really do heat loss.
Nomenclature with no, yeah, wow.
And then we come up short on the end. The biggest thing I think that comes up was airflow and CFM, ductwork delivery, duct distribution is probably our biggest hurdle, I think, in this industry to overcome. What do you think?
I'm going to concur with that statement. It's one of the biggest areas of our industry that's lacking. Nobody does load calculations anymore. As you mentioned, that program, there's programs out there that take 20 minutes. It's very easy to do. There's some other long form calculations that will get you somewhat close that we still don't do. That
We don't do the hand.
and then we don't do the fingers at the street corner, or at the side of the house. There's a But there are some rough calculations, taking into account vaulted ceilings and glass and facing west. I mean, I used to use a multiplier, 60 CFM per square foot. Everybody else, a little bit different. So it is truly one of the biggest missed areas of the industry.
So, three guys. Sometimes in our industry, we would say, and I think I've heard it before, is that I'm a guy, bigger's better always. What happens when we oversize the air handler because our condensing unit is a 5-ton?
Oh my gosh!
And we can make it a 4-ton, but it comes out a 5-ton. But I just want to put a 5-ton in because I'm a guy and more's better.
Well, we definitely want to be careful with oversizing because of short cycling. We certainly do not want to, come on every 5 minutes. We're going to a lot of wear and tear on the compressor components. That's probably the biggest thing as far as oversizing goes.
That's what makes Bosch so unique. You really can't oversize a Bosch. We can oversize ourselves for airflow. If my duct distribution system's 3-ton, then that's what I need to have is a 3-ton. But because our compressor sections and how we do our control, we can put a 5-ton in and not have issues with that.
So the issue is really on the inside part.
Air distribution.
Air, okay.
So even then, we probably still want to make sure we get a little bit longer run cycles too, which we can manually adjust, especially with this product, using the sensors to dictate compressor speed and such of that nature. So cycles per hour is definitely important as well.
It is cycles per hour, and that's something with the thermostat that we have to be aware of. And guys, the real concept with Bosch is we're maintaining a 46-degree coil with whatever airflow you bring across it. And that's why the airflow is really critical. If we bring more air than what the duct design system is,
Absolutely.
we will short cycle, but if we're staying in our realm of proper airflow, then it's not so much of an issue.
So Bosch has a controller, BCC 10 now, was a 100. This works fairly well with our pieces of equipment, but what if Mrs. Jones is adamant about keeping her controller on the wall? What type of rules have you guys seen that needs to be thought about and used to make our system work properly?
The biggest thing I see is 1 cycle per hour. That's really the key point of what
Cycles,
1 cycle per hour.
CPH.
Right.
CPH, okay.
And if you don't have a cycle per hour, because the BCC 110 doesn't, we have a minimum runtime. And we're going to suggest to you a 30-minute minimum runtime, which is 1,800 seconds in our stat. If you go over 1 cycle per hour or 2 cycles per hour, our adaptive intelligence is built into our unit is going to fake out that control and either raise the coil temperature or lower the coil temperature if we're heating or air conditioning. So the goal is to have that 1 cycle per hour, and different brands have adaptive intelligence learned to try to anticipate to make that. with Bosch, we have our minimum runtime.
What about those thermostats that are learning?
Well, that's the other great part about our product is you don't necessarily have to have our VCC 110 because of that fixed coil target temperature that he was talking about.
Okay.
We can use Honeywell, White Rogers, whatever we want. We just need to make sure a couple of things. We change that cycles per hour rate so that we get a little bit longer run cycles.
Okay.
And the other big thing is our product energizes on the B terminal instead of the O terminal. So that is something that's got to get adjusted inside because our product comes shipped as an air conditioner right out of the box.
So we're an air conditioner that can heat.
Correct.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely.
You know what? If you don't make that connection, you're going to see that. You know what it's going to tell you? ATL on our unit. Anytime you see an ATL code, it's pretty much, oops, I've chose the wrong configuration
Yeah.
for B or O.
Okay. Programming thermostats. Do we have to have those?
You do not. I am not one that likes automatic thermostats personally. I think you set it and let it. Automatic thermostats will always default the reversing valve back to natural. So if we're in the heating mode in the wintertime, every time that unit shuts off, it'll go back to air conditioning. Every time it starts up, we'll have that delay of bringing heat into the home. So we want to stay in a non-automatic mode for that situation.
Even our thermostat comes out of the box delivering an O signal for our water source.
That's right.
Okay. So if a homeowner goes down to the big box store and buys a thermostat, he goes, puts it on, chances are he is not going to know that we are a B operated reversing valve and not an O. And that's when he gets that ATL call and somebody has to come out there and configure his thermostat.
I think the old days of the T87F round, which I'm dating myself.
Right.
You only had 3 wires.
Yeah.
It was really there was no programming involved. You set it and let it. Today, every thermostat has programming. Everything has 500 lines of adjustments or capabilities.
So design is critical.
Absolutely.
The installation of that design is critical. Okay. What would you say the most critical part of the installation would be?
Charge.
Refrigerant charge.
Like money charge?
No.
Yeah.
Refrigerant
You have to have enough money to pay.
There you go. There.
refrigerant charge.
Refrigerant charge. Okay.
For sure. Yeah, our product is all based on that liquid line, 3/8
Okay.
liquid line.
Okay.
What size?
3/8.
3/8.
I thought there was 3 options.
There's
3/8?
There's not 3 options.
3 options of 3/8. We do have, a couple sizes on the suction line,
Okay.
but it's really truly also about length. So 3/8 liquid line, maximum length 150 on one, 100 on the other.
What's our charge rate? 0.6 ounces per foot.
It book says 0.59, but 0.6 is still a general rule.
And we get
or a
15
good
foot
general
with our unit.
With our unit already
15
ready.
foot
Yep.
minimum pre-charge. Yeah.
Yep.
So what?
Now, moving to the new R454B product, that's going to be about a 10% less on nameplate charge. So that is something that we've been incorporating in the trainings.
Okay.
That it's not as critical, but it's good for people. to know.
Are you suggesting that maybe they should read the manual?
Oh,
before they install?
absolutely. Every job, for sure.
Yeah.
I think you never know what changes. As a manufacturer, we have the right to change anytime we want to, and it's up to us as trainers to help get that information out there in the field.
There you go. Very good. So, Fred, there's a couple things I noted in my processes of training or cheat sheets, shortcuts for if issues occur. One of the big ones is a original evaporator coil temperature, which was at number 11 on the old style product. And so that is going to give you a targeted temperature of 46 degrees, is what we're normally set
Okay.
for. If our unit is short cycling and you go in, you may find that evaporator target temperature to be 50 degrees. If you see 50 degree setting, that means the unit is short cycling. And it really helps the contractor to streamline his efforts to keep the customer comfortable. It's a dehumidification issue, it's a cooling issue, it's not meeting the load. A lot of times it is that process. So even though we might have our thermostat set at 1 cycle per hour, depending on the location of where that thermostat is at, air could be coming out, hitting that and shutting off
Yep.
and turning on, shutting off, turning on. So that number 11 evaporator target temperature is a real key way of doing diagnostics.
Wow. Okay.
And not to mention, I mean, besides number 11, previous product had, I believe, 23, 24 parameters. That is going to change with the newer product. But as a whole, understanding those parameters is going to help troubleshoot the product exponentially on all aspects of it.
So where do they go to learn about those parameters?
Well, the IOM, we just talked about it. It is listed in the IOM, but it's also on the backside of the nameplate. All I got to do is just take a quick peek in the IOM or the nameplate, follow the parameters, and then we're going to use that button, that little check
You've
button.
been here a long time. You got them memorized?
Yeah, most of them.
Well, probably
Most
the
of them.
previous product.
But here's the issue, honestly, guys, and where I was headed with this is you need to go to training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our systems are not complicated. They're very simple. They work different than anticipated of what everybody else has. We have a 5-ton unit that can come all the way down to 30% capacity. We have a 3-ton unit to come all the way down to 30% capacity. And when you mention that to people where you have a 5-ton unit that maybe come down to 15,000, 20,000 BTUs and still operate, they're there, wow, how does that happen?
I know, right?
And if they don't come to training and understand what the pressure transducer and how our system works, they're left out in the field.
Yep.
A lot of times I get the tech calls from people who've never been to training. And I can't emphasize enough, you need to get to a Bosch certified training or our wholesalers or our reps that offer training to understand how we work, because we are different in concept.
That's part of demystifying the inverter technology as a whole, right? I like to talk about the sensors. You know, the inverter technology is loaded with sensors. You know, T1 up through T5 and T7 for that matter, and being able to check that information through that point check switch button that we have to get that information, so that we can understand the product and not be afraid of what that inverter board looks like. You know, and to be able to learn the bells and whistles. And as you mentioned, training. That's how we're going to help to
Wow.
demystify.
I noticed the other day. I've been telling people forever and ever, seems like, sit on a bucket and push a button to get those parameters. Okay, there's a new way now to get the parameters.
I was going to ask Chris to talk about this.
I'm going to tell you
Technology.
What?
the downloading and the uploading of the app and whatnot and all that kind of thing. It was hard for an old guy per se, but it's probably not hard for everybody. But once I did that and went through those 44 parameters without having to push a button, except for the Bluetooth button, okay? And then I get to see it on my phone, and then I get to email it or save it to a file or
That's the
something
best
like
part.
that.
That's the
Oh
best
my
part.
gosh. And I didn't have to write down the model number and the serial number to send into the office. I just pushed a button and scanned the barcode and registered the product. Didn't have to forget about that. And then I was able to send all of that also back over to the office type thing.
Well,
So,
when you do that, you actually can save it as a PDF file, and that does have the date it was saved.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
the model and
yeah.
serial number of the
But
product.
we need to be very clear at this point. You have to be on site to see those parameters.
Yep,
That is
absolutely.
correct.
Yes, sir.
We are not able to see that from the office.
It's a peer-to-peer network. You've got to be connected to Bluetooth while you're on site.
on site.
Yep,
Correct.
for sure.
But that is cool features. That is some very cool stuff that's out there with the industry. We have some other things I guess we can talk about. Short cycling stats, that's why we go to the 1 cycle per hour rate.
Yep.
Yeah, our system has an automatic built on 1 hour of operation, so we don't record signals over days, weeks, hours. It's 1 hour. Every hour starts a new count of how many times the thermostat turns on or turns off. So it has a range of 4 degrees from our set point. It can go below 4 degrees or above 4 degrees
Okay.
based on how that thermostat's cycling. Which goes back to our target of 50 degrees on number 11. If you're seeing 50, that means the unit is short cycling.
And that's changed a little bit too. Number 11.
Yeah, it's changing.
I believe it's 14 on the
Yep.
premium, and now it's 17 on the ultra.
The term is evap target pressures or evap target temperatures. That's
Target
correct.
temperature. That's correct.
So if you look for that in the IOM,
Yep.
whatever you work on, that would be your target.
It's all about the target.
Cool. And there's another thing that was pretty cool in that one. There was a compressor runtime timer that was check 22 originally.
Correct.
And that timer accounts the time the unit's not running or
And
the
the-
time it's running.
As it is running. That's
Cycle time.
Cycle time.
One of the things that I want to mention and get your take on and make sure that we understand our areas, because you're in Pennsylvania and you're in Portland and I'm here in Western Oklahoma, and we have other trainers that are in Canada, and we've got one in Las Vegas and we got one in Florida. We got a vast range of areas to deal with their comfort level and their needs. Okay, we have a 20 SEER. We have a 18 and a 15. Why do we have those particular ranges of, is it a good, better, and best, or is it just 3 ranges that we can choose from? What is it?
In my opinion, it's efficiency. The 15 SEER is efficient as the 20, but a little less, but it comes for rebate. So if you're looking in Massachusetts, particularly in the Northeast, Some cases are giving a $10,000
Oh
rebate
my gosh.
to
Oh wow.
install a 20 SEER product with a 20 SEER air handler. In Pennsylvania, there's no real rebate incentives there.
Okay.
If you're going to look for something that's pretty close, a 15 SEER is about half the cost of the 20 SEER. And it meets up capacity pretty close in that process. So those things might have changed around a little bit, but that was what was there at one time when they first came out. That's why we introduced the 15 SEER to be competitive with the 14 SEER, 13 SEER AC systems. And it is still an inverter technology that a lot of cases today, the 15 SEER does match up with that application.
Wow.
So for me in Oregon, 15 SEER doesn't work very well. Not to mention, I only have 3 months of cooling. The rest for me is heating. So we care about HSPF.
Sure.
So in my area, in my neighborhood in Oregon, it's all about HSPF. And so we're 20 SEER or higher. What's great about that too is now the new IDS Ultra that's coming out, that 100% at 5 for that cool climate, because we don't get as cold as the Northeast, but we still get that Canada air. We still get that Alaska air coming down here. So it's going to be a great product moving forward for us, even in Oregon.
Wow. So in our areas, we have the split systems that we've been talking about. You set one over here and you set the indoor unit over here, but we also manufacture 2 different styles of package units now.
Correct.
We've got the 19.5 and we've got the, what is it? 16-ish?
Yeah,
Okay.
16-ish.
The 19 is what I call a vertical and horizontal discharge type thing, maybe sitting on a curb out there in Phoenix or somewhere. And then we've got that 3-ton unit is high static ductwork approved. And then we've got the little brother, what I call it, which is only a horizontal discharge, supply and return.
Yeah.
And that particular, both of those 3-ton and 5-ton are high static ductwork approved already. So again, trying to match up and meet all of those comfort needs that people may have.
And then on top of that, because I am a big HSPF type community out in the Northwest, mini splits, the ductless, the Climate 5000 is huge in our market. Probably number 1 and number 2 in the United States for largest markets for the mini split product line.
Wow.
One of the things I think is cool with Bosch is the 10-year warranty from date of manufacturer if you choose not to register. If you do register, it goes from date of install, which is critical. It could be a year lost in transit.
Yep, absolutely.
And that is for all the IDS inverter ducted split IDP packages. As we move forward until the year of 2028, the IDP 410 is still available to be sold up to that period of time. The R410A is being able to be sold up to January 1 of 2026, cannot be produced after January 1 of 2025.
Okay.
And there will be components available for a long time as far as what we have on a compressor section, an air handler, or a case coil. The R454B is the upcoming technology. There are new parameters, as you mentioned, Chris. We're going from a 25 count to a 35 count, maybe 38 count. We're seeing better performances. We're seeing better ranges of capacity where we're getting a higher output of heat capacity at a lower temperature. On the Ultra, we're down to, 70% at minus 13?
70% of 13.
So that is an outstanding number with its capacity.
What about, is there any benefits from Bosch to the contractor?
Bosch Home Comfort, 3 tiers. We've got the silver, the gold, and the platinum level. What's cool about that is it's about list price of the equipment. So silver level is only $50,000. The gold level is $500,000, and then the platinum level is $1 million. But it's on list price of that product. So think about this on a silver side. It's only like 5 or 6 systems, and you're already a silver contractor. Once you become a Home Comfort Pro contractor, there's benefits and you get points for registering the product. That's one of the big things about registering on the Bosch Easy Air app. So that we can get those products registered. You earn points, you can get Bosch gear from there. There's also contractor benefits like dealer locator. Get your name on a dealer locator list. Customer Googles you on the internet and you get right to a Bosch contractor so they can come in and install that Bosch in your home.
Does all of that cost the contractor anything?
Nah, it's free to the contractor.
Wow.
And as a platinum, I heard you get an extra year of warranty on your product.
That's actually correct, yes.
So you get 11-year warranty on your product instead of 10.
Wow.
Good stuff. And they get dollars for that too, I think, on the
They
points.
do.
They cash that into dollars at the end of the year.
Correct.
So it depends on what level you're at for what the value is that's associated.
And then with registration of the product, you also get labor, 90 days of labor. And we had DOA, if you register, we got DOA type situation in that first 90 days, for sure.
Anything else, guys, you want to bring up?
Well, you mentioned there during the one break about Unico or Space Pack. So Bosch has an opportunity to work with Unico under an HRI match with their air handler capabilities.
Okay.
And so if you're looking for an HRI match with Unico, our 5-ton, 3-ton is rated. And in the Northeast, there is a lot of traction with the Unico.
Wow.
So when you get in duct installations are not the best or the easiest. Unico is made for homes that didn't have a duct distribution system with the high velocity 2-inch round diameter diffusers. We fit it. We work it.
Well, guys, I really appreciate your time and stuff, and I hope this was beneficial. I hope that we get to do it sooner than we've done it before.
Sure.
And enjoy your day.